So this next exercise is profoundly powerful, and it looks a little silly. You can do this one by yourself. If you can find somebody to help you, you might discover it's a little easier or faster, but certainly possible by yourself. The reason that having somebody else help you can be useful is because they'll be able to see your eye movement better than you will probably be aware of your own eye movement. But don't worry about it either way. If you can have somebody help you, fantastic. If not, that's fine too. I did it by myself and had amazing results. So just do whatever is possible for you. Now, with this exercise, first of all, let me just give credit to Andy Austin, who's a UK-based neurolinguist. He teaches a exercise called integral eye movement therapy, and that is the basis of the exercise that I'm going to share with you. What I'm sharing with you is not exactly the same, but it's a modification of it. Now, what you're going to do in this exercise is you're going to start out and notice when you are having an experience that you don't like. And of course you can, again, use your imagination to do this preemptively. You can imagine something that tends to bother you, something that creates anxiety in you, something that triggers some obsession for you. And once you've imagined that, or if you're already spontaneously in that state, then you notice that you have a feeling. You have a feeling somewhere in your body. And just notice that feeling. And then ask yourself this question: when is the first time that I can remember feeling this feeling? Now, it may not be the first time that I ever felt this feeling, but it is the first time I can remember now. So the key here is that it's the first time you can remember now. Doesn't have to be the first time that you ever felt it. It's the first time you can remember now. And go with whatever comes up first. So you'll have a memory, a specific memory, the first time that you can remember feeling this feeling. And now what you're going to do is, as you remember that memory, as you think of that memory, you hold that memory in mind, you play it in your mind, just keep thinking of that memory. And as you think of that memory, you're going to move your eyes. Okay, so I'm going to move a little closer to the camera so you can see. You're going to move your eyes from side to side. And you want to move them all the way to the left and to the right as far as you can, and try to do it smoothly. You're going to do that 6 times. Key is keep thinking of the memory as you're moving your eyes. I said it would be a little silly. That's alright. It's going to be effective. So you're just going to keep moving your eyes back and forth as you think of that memory. You have to keep thinking of the memory in order for this to work. So keep thinking of the memory. Do that about 6 times. Obviously, you're not going to need to count because you're going to be thinking of the memory. But you move your eyes back and forth. Next thing you're going to do is you're going to move your eyes diagonally, again, as you're thinking of that memory. So you're going to start in the upper corner and then to the lower corner in a diagonal, and you're going to think of the memory, keep thinking of the memory. If your mind wanders, you just keep bringing it back to the memory as you move your eyes in a diagonal like that. And then you're going to do it one more time in the opposite diagonal as you're thinking of the memory. You just keep thinking of the memory as you're moving your eyes in a diagonal. Again, you don't need to count, but approximately 6 times. Doesn't have to be exact. You can do other eye movements as long as they're going to cross the midline. That seems to be key in order for this to be effective. But those 3 axes that I just showed you tend to be the most effective. So you're going to do those as you're thinking of the memory. You just keep thinking of the memory. Now, after you've done those 3 axes, notice what changes when you think of that memory. So you're not going to be moving your eyes around now. Just think of the memory now and notice what changes. Now, a lot of people are going to notice that the memory gets fuzzier, more distant, that if they were previously viewing the memory as if in first person, now they're going to see it from a third person view. Things change to create more space and more distance, typically. So just notice what changes. Don't be alarmed at whatever changes. Just notice the changes. Sometimes new content will come up, things that you had forgotten about the memory. That's okay too. Just signaling to you that there are changes taking place in your brain, in the way that you're processing these memories. Now, when you've done a round of the eye movement while thinking of the memory, then the changes that occur within the neurology tend to occur for at least 20 minutes following that. Even if you're not doing anything actively, you could go off and start playing soccer or talk on the phone or do whatever you do, take a nap, but whatever you're doing for about 20 minutes, sometimes longer, things are going to continue to change. So just notice what's different about that memory. Now, that's it. You can take this deeper if you want by noticing now, if you go back to the original feeling that you started with, notice what's changed about that. Something is very likely to have changed about it. So it's a different feeling now. Even if it's the same sort of feeling, it's a different feeling. Because it's something about it has changed. So now you can ask yourself the same question again with this new, even if it's a similar feeling. When is the first time I can remember feeling this feeling now? It may not be the first time that I ever felt this feeling. It's the first time I can remember feeling this feeling now. And then you do the same eye movement exercise with that memory that comes up. And you can continue to do that as for a few rounds. Don't go crazy with it. You don't want to strain your eyes, okay? 3 or 4 rounds at the most. And trust in this process. And what you will very likely notice is that something changes in your real experience in life when you encounter triggering situations. Something's going to be different about your response. So just notice.